Hey, what is up guys? I'm KBHD here, and just look at this TV. Alright, so we saw a lot of pretty cool TVs at CES, like we do every year, but a lot of the coolest ones never really go on sale. They're more like showcases, but this one is real. This is the LG 4K OLED W in the flesh, and the W stands for Wallpaper. And that's a pretty fitting name for a TV like this because it's so thin, it literally looks like a cutout, like a wallpaper on a 65-inch section of the wall. So for the record, the panel is officially 3.8 millimeters thick total, including the wall mount, if you must know. There's actually no way to keep this TV upright. There's no stand that it comes with. You have to wall mount it if you're getting it. So the OLED module is basically a 65-inch sheet of pixels that sort of hooks onto the tiny wall mount at the top like a picture frame, and then actually uses magnets throughout the middle and the bottom of the frame to stay flush with the wall. It's tight. So that makes it thinner on the wall than a bunch of household objects which you would ordinarily consider thin. I mean, the fact that this whole panel is about the same thickness as 2 SD cards should give you a pretty good idea how nuts it is. Maybe take a key out your pocket and hold it up to the wall. Like, that is how thin the entire TV is. And yeah, that also makes this TV that LG makes thinner than the thinnest phone they make. How about that? And then the OLED itself is an excellent quality panel, as it should be for the price. It gets up to 1,000 nits, which is extremely bright. Blacks are pitch black since it's an OLED. It hits 99% of DCI color space, supports Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG, and Technicolor's HDR. I mean, it'll pretty much cover any format. And of course, it's a 4K panel, so details and contrast and sharpness are incredible up close as you would ever get to a TV this big. But where did all the guts go? So where are all the rest of the components to this TV? The ports, the speakers, etc. It's actually all in the soundbar, which is an equally important part of this setup as the OLED. So everything connects to the TV through this one flat cable, and you can see it coming out the bottom. And it looks a little bit weird at first, but I kind of dig this system. It's a really, really sturdy cable, doesn't flex very much, but it comes right out the bottom of the TV and plugs into the soundbar. And I have mine using the extension since it's more than 2 feet from the TV to the bar. I think ideally for maximum visual flotation, you're gonna wanna go into the wall with the cable so you don't have to see it at all. But then you need some professional help and you have to get it properly shielded for fire code, etc. I think some double-sided tape for me should do pretty much fine to make it not a big deal. The cable really is not that noticeable once you're looking at the TV, trust me. But this soundbar, this thing is actually really good. It sounds great. It gets really loud without much distortion. It has a bunch of speakers, frontward facing, sideways, straight up, and that makes it pretty good at throwing sound off the walls and creating a pretty convincing surround sound effect. And check out this sleek little animation it does when turning on and off. I can't even be sure if that has any real functionality outside of looking cool, but I like it anyway. And all of the I/O is, of course, in the soundbar as well. So you plug in your soundbar into the wall, and if you have anything HDMI, there's 4 HDMI ports, a couple USB, an Ethernet, etc. And then all of that gets fed through to the TV, along with power, through that ribbon cable. So that's what allows the TV to be so thin, because it's literally just the OLED panel and some shielding and a few magnets, and that's it as far as what's up on your wall. The dopeness of your setup with this TV will depend pretty much on how well you can hide this cable. So yeah, you can color me impressed. I'm glad to even have it in the studio now thanks to LG. And even after using it for a couple days, sometimes you still find yourself wondering, like, why did it have to get so thin? Like, what's the difference between a TV that's 1 inch thick and this panel that's 1/10 of an inch thick? But then you use it and you remember why. It's the thinness combined with these really thin bezels that create a super immersive viewing and gaming experience. I can't even imagine how insane the 77-inch version looks. Probably just looks like a straight up projection, which is crazy. So okay, the bottom line for this is most people aren't ever really gonna buy this. I mean, it's $8,000. If you want to, that's on you, bro, I get it. But for most people, this is more of just a showcase of what the bleeding edge of tech can look like. This whole concept isn't new, of having a super thin TV and then putting most of the I/O and the electronics down at the bottom. We've seen that before. Even LG and Samsung have done that in the bottoms of their TVs before, put the speakers, the HDMI ports, all of it in the bottom, even though the thinnest part of the TV is really thin. But this is taking it to the next level. That's why it's dope tech. It's just seeing what's possible with taking as much away from it as possible And when you do this, you end up with this super immersive experience where you don't even really focus on the fact that it's a TV anymore. It just looks like someone copied and pasted an image onto a wall and you're just looking at the image. It's really cool. So I can leave a link in the description to this if you really want to check it out, but really most of the links I'll leave were the videos I was watching on the TV and the stuff on the TV if you want to check those things out. But that's pretty much it. That's the Wallpaper TV. Thank you for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.